Sounds real? Sounds real?
Release the cheese!
Sounds real?
Sounds real.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Jack.
And we're here today with another episode of Release the Cheeze.
Yes.
And yeah, I can't wait to get into this one. You know what? I'm going to let you start.
Okay, so we watched this just recently. And Shaolin Invincibles, starring Ling Chiao and Carter Wong. And let me tell you, I started watching it, actually, started off kind of serious, and I was like, okay, well, this is a good martial arts kung fu movie. I'm not gonna go too much into the plot because it doesn't really matter, but it's a revenge flick. Let's just say that. And
Aren't they all?
And maybe you could go into a little bit more on the plot.
I will.
So my first impressions within the first 10 minutes, like, okay, cool, some kung fu fighting here, and I like it. And it's a female lead.
Everybody
actually
was kung
two
fu
female
fighting.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Yeah.
The cook, the dishwasher, everybody.
Everyone fights in this movie.
Gorillas too, but we'll get into that.
Oh yeah, well, I was gonna get into the gorillas. So you got kung fu gorillas, and let me tell you, there's no CGI in this movie. And move over, Peter Jackson. The costumes are great.
You hear that, Peter? You got competition.
You got competition, Peter Jackson. Yeah, this is the way King Kong should have been done. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. I love the editing in this movie because some parts seem like a compilation, just fight scenes.
Yeah, you know what? I felt like I was watching a compilation of trailers.
Yes.
You know, just
at some point it felt that
nothing
way.
but fight scene after fight scene, and they're different locations, day and night. You know, they're fighting at night, and the next scene it's daytime, and they're fighting in a quarry, or you know.
What I love is that it was like they would walk into a place, see people, and then they all fought. You know, as everyone's fighting,
like the man in the back said, everyone attacked.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone, I guess they kill everybody, and then we'll just cut. And then they're walking again, and they see people, and they fight. And then they would cut again and kind of do that. So I like that. That was actually really cool.
So,
plot.
Okay, so I got this movie, you know, about a month ago or so. It's been a while. I haven't had a chance to see it. So it's distributed by Vinegar Syndrome, and it's a double feature. And he can't wait to see the other feature that's on here. Yes. 7-1.
7-1.
So, but we're not going to talk about that one. And so we decided, hey, let's watch this one for the show. Let's check it out. So I haven't seen it. He hasn't seen it. So we saw it. Really cool show. You know, like he said, it started off kind of serious because
kind of serious in tone.
It shows like the massacre of this family, this royal family, and everyone's butchered, and this monk flies down. Jumps down.
A lot of flying.
A lot of flying, yes. So he jumps down, leaps, and grabs this little baby, this one child, a female, and he flies back up to the rooftop, and that's how it ends, okay? So then the next scene is these two females sparring.
Yeah, they're grown up.
And supposedly they're sisters, but we never saw the other.
We only saw one get rescued.
Yeah, we only saw one girl get rescued, but
they're sisters.
They're sisters, so I guess okay, whatever. Different daddies, I don't know. But so these monks trained them, and I guess they're adults now. And
they seek their vengeance.
They say we're gonna avenge our family.
Yes.
And that's how it starts. They start on a quest to avenge their family.
Yes.
And so they're heading towards the palace.
I'm just remembering some of these scenes.
And they're coming across, you know, everyone they come across in the forest, there's a fight.
Yes.
You know, it seems like no one is friendly to these females.
No, they're hated by everybody.
First of all, no one knows who these females are because years have passed. They're like adults now. They're in their early 20s, and yet everyone wants to fight them.
And apparently it's supposed to be a secret because he had reported that he had killed everybody.
Yes.
No survivors.
Yes.
But
word gets back to the emperor that killed her family, and they're like, oh my God, you know, we gotta kill them. We gotta make sure it's them. And so everybody and their mother is after them, and it just gets, you know.
But can we talk about the disguise? Where
whoa! get there. I'll get there. Hold that thought, guy. So, they're making their way towards the palace. And I thought they were at the palace in the very beginning because they're fighting the royal guard and this other fighter that's used. I thought he was with them. Turns out he's helping them. And that's Carter Wong. If anybody knows who Carter Wong is, everybody should know Big Trouble Little China, right? So Carter Wong was one of Lo Pan's henchmen. He's the one that actually starts to expand, builds up, blows up. He looks like a garbage pail kid.
Yeah.
So that's Carter Wong, guys.
So he's sent to protect, I guess, Hal.
I don't know sent from who, but yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
He's
there. And then actually there's two of them that are sent.
Yeah, we never see him till the very, very end. I guess they didn't have enough money for him, but he shows up like in 2 scenes.
But they do talk about him as being sent as well, but yeah, you don't see him very often.
So we fast forward.
About the dungeon scene.
We fast forward and we see the evil doer with these 2 priestess, black magic and white magic. We forgot about them. They have these long tongues that look like fruit roll-ups.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. They never roll their tongues back in their mouths, but they have these long tongues hanging out from their mouths.
And they use those tongues as weapons.
Yes, they later
give them some
lashing. Yeah.
Later on, they use it as weapons.
So they give the emperor this a gift. I would say these 2 gorilla beasts that are very well versed in martial arts.
Yes,
as you can see. They look like 2 miniature King Kongs.
And they're indestructible.
They're indestructible. Invincible to steel. Indestructible to steel. So none of the swords can penetrate them. But of course, there's
is one
always
weak
a
spot.
Weak spot.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the head this time.
Yeah, on top of the head. Though.
On top of the head is their weak spot. So the emperor decides to test them out, fights them, puts them into submission, tells his army to attack them. And
his
their whole
guard.
army gets decimated
someone
in
gets
seconds.
Killed and
so
everything.
Like, okay, I guess they have a supply of men at their disposal. So, hey, let's take 20 men and fight these gorillas and die.
Yes.
Just so they can be tested.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many deaths it takes to be like, okay, they're indestructible, guys.
Okay, yeah.
Cut, hey, enough's enough. But anyway, so the women proceed to the palace.
Yes.
And they come across the gorillas and they decide to, that scene is classic. Because they see these 2 gorillas in the forest and the 2 sisters look at each other. And mind you, they have these headdresses. They're wearing these huge headdresses.
That's the disguise.
On top of their heads, and they decide, they say, oh, we got to hide. And they hide behind some shrubbery. But yet their headdresses are exposed. And of course they get caught. And they decide to succumb because that's their plan. Hey, let's be taken prisoners. That way we can just skip all this walking and we get straight to the emperor.
That's right.
And no one recognizes them because that's their disguise. They don't realize that those are the 2 sisters that are
trying to assassinate the emperor.
Yes.
Yes. That they've been fighting all these people.
So the emperor, of course, fancies.
And then there's all these wanted posters. So their faces are plastered everywhere.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But
yeah, of course, they're just drawings, so it's not a very good,
it's just a drawing,
accurate depiction of them. So I guess you can be fooled. And there is one scene they come across this elderly woman, and she draws a map. She draws a map to the palace, right?
Yes, she draws a map to the palace.
And the funny thing is, they show the map, and they're just boxes, boxes with some lettering on it.
And then she says, "Well, this is all I can really remember." All I know, there's a lot of traps.
And so from there, they're like, oh, thank you. We know how to get to the palace now.
Which seemed very easy because they just walked to the palace.
And I go, there's a tree here. I remember there's a box here. And some boxes that represent,
I don't know, buildings. I guess. Who knows?
So anyway, you got to watch it. Oh, my God. So fast forward again. This whole thing about dungeons and secret passageways, it's ridiculous. So
I loved it.
The main character, the main sister,
she gets
into this trap. There's swords at the bottom, but she lands on her feet, and I guess her feet are steel-toed.
Yes.
You know,
she lands on
because
top.
it didn't penetrate.
Doesn't penetrate her feet.
And she hears someone on the other side of the wall. Can you hear me? Can you try to dig from your side and I'll dig from my side? And so the next scene is this perfectly cubed, nicely shaped cube stone coming out of the wall. And she goes into the next part.
And she meets the architect.
The architect that supposedly designed these
Everything.
secret passages, but yet he can't get out himself.
No.
Because
he had chains.
He had
I don't know what he was
chains,
chained
but he
to.
wasn't bound to anything. They were just...
Yeah, he just had chains.
His arms were chained.
And he knew the whole layout, so he gives her a map.
And he's
of the
disfigured.
dungeon.
He's disfigured, by the way. It looks like he has an egg. Yes. Egg yolk as an eyeball. I don't know what that is.
I don't know
what, but you know, the like I said, Peter Jackson, move over, man.
Yeah.
These special effects are top
You don't
notch.
need CGI with these guys, man.
So anyway, so they all band together, and
who's all?
The Carter Wong.
Oh, that's right.
And this other person that shows up.
Oh, that's right. The one that they've been talking about.
Yeah, he shows up at the very end.
Yeah.
And yet they're trying to figure out how to get back into the palace where they were already in. They were already in the palace. And I don't know what. Every time they go into the secret passage, the dungeons, they come out outside the palace.
Yes.
And then they start fighting.
Yes.
I don't know what.
They counter the gorillas again, and
the gorilla. Okay, so we'll talk about the gorilla scene. I love it. So they're fighting the gorillas, and it's a good 5-minute fight scene.
Yeah.
And they finally realize, oh, the head is vulnerable.
So they use that special move.
And so they use heaven and earth.
Yes.
Really cool. They do like this trapeze act, and they get on top of each other, and they fly, and they put the sword right through the head, and so that scene was awesome because there's like a geyser of blood coming out from each gorilla.
Yes,
there's blood spurting,
and the gorillas are like, "Oh, we've been defeated."
So there is blood in this movie. There's plenty of blood spurting, and so I like that. And so they come across, they kill the gorillas, and we don't know where everyone is again.
Yeah, everyone disappears again.
Everyone disappears. You see them all together in the scene.
Some are back in the dungeon.
Yeah, there's one in the dungeon. He finally gets into one of these traps that we keep hearing that it was filled with traps.
Yeah, so the trap is a gnarly trap. I mean, this steel gate falls down. There's fire coming out. There's gases, poisonous gas. And the way he gets out of this trap, because you're like, oh, man, he's done for.
Yeah.
He lifts the gate up and walks out.
Apparently, it's not very heavy. And it's not bolted down. So, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And then he's outside.
And everyone else disappears.
Yeah.
And so he gets into a fight with this old man that was
the old man, the architect, right? Yeah.
Turns out,
we don't want to spoil it. I think we should end there. For any of you that want to watch it, find out who the old man is.
Okay, so it's really. You gotta watch it. I mean, there's so much stuff going on in this movie. I can't. Later on, I'm gonna be like, oh damn, why couldn't I put that in the show? I forgot that. So
the noodle scene.
You are not going to be disappointed if you like kung fu movies. This is a Taiwanese movie.
A lot of kung fu fighting. I mean, a lot.
From
so if you're into the martial arts,
actually, there's not much dialogue.
No,
it's mostly dialogue like.
Who are they?
Go after them.
Yes.
Go, you two. Go,
yes.
go.
It's basically stating the obvious dialogue.
So, and it has Carter Wong. What more do you want? Yeah. Carter Wong, we love you. It's.
Yeah. And then there's dialogue like the noodle scene. Like, what I don't know what that was all about. But
Yeah. They go into, and they're hungry. And
let's not talk too much about it. You got to watch the noodle scene.
Check out this movie. It's on Vinegar Syndrome. I don't believe it's streaming because Vinegar Syndrome. It might come out to Shudder.
Yeah,
Shudder.
It does get stuff like this sometimes.
It might, but if not, Vinegar Syndrome has plenty of copies.
Yep.
And it was well worth it. It comes with a double feature. So what more could you want? 7-1 and Shaolin Invincibles.
Yeah.
1977.
Thumbs up.
Awesome year. So definitely thumbs up for this one.
Thumbs up.
Oh my God, cheese factor. There's not enough cheese to contain it. That's like if the crock pot was bubbling up and you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of cheese pouring out. A lot of cheese, guys. So break out the nachos. You will not be
You won't be disappointed.
All right.
Yeah.
So thumbs up And like always, press like, subscribe, share these precious moments. And Danny?